हरे श्रीनिवास श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। नारायणाय परिपूर्णगुणार्णवाय विश्वोदयस्थितिलयो नियतिप्रदाय ज्ञानप्रदाय विबुधासुरसौख्यदुःखसत्कारणाय वितताय नमो नमस्ते। सदागमैकविज्ञेयं समतीक्षराक्षरं नारायणं वन्दे निर्दोषाशेषसद्गुणं। जयत्यब्जभवेशेन्द्रवन्दितः कमलापतिः अनन्तविभवानन्द शक्तिज्ञानादिसद्गुणः। अभ्रमं भङ्गरहितम् अजडं विमलं सदा आनन्दतीर्थमतुलं भजे तापत्रयापहम्। अर्थिकल्पितकल्पोऽयं प्रत्यर्थिगजकेसरी व्यासतीर्थगुरुर्भूयादस्मदिष्टार्थसिद्धये। कामधेनुर्यथा पूर्वं सर्वाभीष्टफलप्रदा तथा कलौवादिराजश्रीपादोऽभीष्टदः सदा। पूज्याय राघवेन्द्राय सत्यधर्मरताय च भजतां कल्पवृक्षाय नमतां कामधेनवे। आपादमौलिपर्यन्तं गुरूणामाकृतिं स्मरेत् तेन विघ्नाः प्रणश्यन्ति सिद्ध्यन्ति च मनोरथः। हरे श्रीनिवास। Till the previous session, I was discussing the topic on the Udupi Kshetra, which is one of the prominent pilgrimage place in this Bharata Varsha. So I will be continuing with the next shloka. It is about Lord Ananteswara, which is at Udupi, present day Udupi, which is almost exactly opposite to the present Lord Sri Krishna's temple. So I will be reciting a shloka on this, which is written by Sri Vadiraja Swami in his famous scripture called Teertha Prabandha, which is a part of the Paschima Prabandha. Sivantaryamitam sviyam priyan pratinibodhayan dayavari nidhi saivim silamashritya shobhate ईशास्याहिष पदवीं भासयन्निव भाविनीं अध्यास्ते शेषशयनः स्निग्धां लिंगशिलां हरिः. This is a shloka which comes as a part of Paschima Prabandha. Of course, this is a part of Paschima Prabandha, which is describing the details of Lord Ananteswara. What it means, what does this shloka mean? Here, Lord Sri Hari, out of his causeless mercy, he wants to convey that he is Antaryami of Lord Shiva. For that purpose, he has remained in the Linga form. Here, it is Lord Parashurama who has stayed in that form. Of course, he was the primary deity of Udupi earlier, before the arrival of present Lord Sri Krishna's deity. It was the presiding deity earlier in that particular place. So, of course, in the previous sessions, I was telling how this particular place of Lord Parashuram, how he has created this particular place. In the previous sessions I have discussed. Here what it means is, here the deity of Lord Ananteswara is as if Lord Shiva is as if it is the Lord Shiva is the future Lord Sesha. Here he has assumed the form of Linga. That means most of us will be having a misnomer that Linga means it is by default Shiva. It is the jugglery of Sanskrit language or the Puranic language which comes into picture. Linga need not be only the form of Lord Shiva. The same time, we always assume Lord Rudra whenever it is told. We always correlate Lord Rudra to Lord Shiva, but it is not the case. In some instances, Lord Rudra is Lord Shiva, and at the same time, Lord Rudra is equated to Lord Vayu or Mukhya Prana. This is as per the Skanda Purana also. So, what it means is when Lord Parashurama has assumed the form of Linga, that means that it states that he is the Antaryami of the Lord Shiva also. At the same time, he is going to be the future Sesha. The present, whatever the postures, whatever we see in our photos or in the deities carved by the sculptors, what we see is Lord Vishnu is in Yoga Nidra form having a sleep on Lord Sesha. So, this is the meaning of this particular shloka. So, what we have to assume or what we have to visualize when we visit this particular place. See, Lord Ananteswara, it is because of his mercy, Lord Jagadguru Madhvacharya has appeared in the Pajaka place. This, of course, I will be discussing in the next sessions how the appearance, in what circumstances it happened. And it is from this location only Jagadguru Madhvacharya has disappeared from this material vision. So I will just go through all these details in the coming in this present session. So before I discuss how he has disappeared, before disappearance, he has given a beautiful lecture or beautiful pravachan to his, or even beautiful message to his disciples who have gathered over there. So one fine day, after prayer to Lord Ananteswara, on the Magha Shuddha Navami, of course, Magha Masa is in the almost like 11th month of the Hindu calendar, and on the 9th day after full moon day, after new moon day, he has started providing his beautiful lecture. After completion of his daily rituals, he has provided Teertha and Prasadam to all the people who have gathered over there. So pious people joined over there and started observing him with devotion. Madhvacharya, with his vociferous voice, started delivering his message. What is the content of that message? We will look into this subject. My dear disciples and devotees of Lord Sri Hari, the purpose with which I came or with which I have incarnated is, and which is as per the orders of Lord, is completed. So the mandate, whatever is given to me by the Supreme Lord Sri Hari, I have completed. That is what is one of his points, what he has told. So incarnation means, who is this Madhvacharya? Madhvacharya, of course, he is the incarnation of Lord Vayu, who resides in the Satya Loka. This same Vayu is called by the other name called as Mukhya Prana. He has incarnated as Lord Hanuman in Treta Yuga, as Lord Bhima, or as a Bhima who has served Lord Sri Krishna in Dwapara Yuga, and at the same time the same personality has appeared as Madhvacharya in the present Kali Yuga. So the purpose with which he came has completed. So he was telling to his disciples, from here by henceforth, I will be moving to Uttara Badri, that is in the present day Badrinath, in the present state of Uttarakhand. Henceforth, I will be out of the material vision and I will be available there only, of course, in the spiritual form. And at the same time, he was conveying his message in the following manner also. He is telling all the people who have gathered over there, you people are all blessed and you are all very lucky. The reason is, the Vaishnavic lifestyle is a result of crores and crores of life's good deeds, or punya, what we say in the Sanskrit. Gaining tattva jnana, or the jnana about the Lord's supremacy of Lord Sri Hari, and at the same time remembering all the time about the Taratamya, which places Lord Sri Hari in the supreme position, and at the same time obeying the concept of Pancha Bheda, that is the difference between the Ishvara, the God, at the same time, the difference between matter and the Jiva, that is Ishvara, God, matter and Jiva. There is a fivefold difference. There is a difference between God and Jiva, a Jiva to Jiva, Jiva to Jada, Jada is matter, and Jada Jada and Jada Paramatma. That is called, there is the fivefold differences. So whoever is obeying this particular principle, whoever is following this principle, that means that that particular person has accepted the principles given by Madhvacharya, and he can be considered as the disciple of Madhvacharya, irrespective of their caste, language, region, religion, place of birth, time of birth. All of these things are immaterial. So this all comprise of whatever I have said, Tattva Jnana. So to attain such knowledge, one has to perform the prescribed duties. So performing the prescribed duties with utmost devotion and dedication to the Lord Hari, Sri Hari. At the same time, he is giving a message: do the duties without the expectation of results. This is even explained by Lord Sri Krishna in his Bhagavad Gita. So knowledge and devotion towards of the Lord is the end result of all the activities. Because of this only, the utmost happiness can be obtained not only in this material world, of course it can be obtained in the spiritual world also. So at the same time, he is giving some more important points, stating that apart from doing our regular rituals like having the bath, performing the Sandhya Vandana, Deva Puja, Brahma Yajna, Vaishwadeva, all these are all the parts of the Pancha Yajnas which a person has to do. Apart from doing this, following the Ekadashi Vrata, Krishnastami is highly important. So Ekadashi Vrata means one has to end the Dashami day by taking the palahara, that is he has to stop consuming the food by the afternoon of the Dashami, start taking the falahara means or having only the fruits, and on the Ekadasi day nothing shall be consumed, and on the Dwadasi day one has to take the food in the early hours and remaining fast in the afternoon, and having the regular food on the Dwadashi night. This consists of the Ekadashi Vrata and Janmashtami. So these are all the important things which one has to follow. So by performing the above mentioned activities, one can attain punya. And at the same time, non-performance will accrue the sins or papa. And at the same time, he is telling we have to respect our gurus, our seniors, and even the old people. And at the same time, he is conveying one more message stating that we have to worship all the devatas, at the same time always remembering about the concept of Taratamya. Taratamya, just now I was telling, Jagadguru Madhvacharya, he gives the hierarchy of all the gods. Of course, it is not he who has newly invented, which is already available in the scriptures. So he states that Lord Sri Hari is in the supreme position. And coming to the second one is Lakshmi. So she is Akshara Jivi. At the same time, coming to the next hierarchy, that is the Kshara Jivas, that is Brahma, Lord Brahma, and Lord Vayu or Lord Mukhya Prana, whatever I was telling. So these two will come in the one row. Then coming to that, Saraswati and Bharati, their respective wives. At the same time, then coming to the point of Garuda, Sesha, Rudra, and afterwards, Lord Krishna Shan, Mahishis, that is the 6 wives who he had. Earlier he had 8 wives. Out of that, 2, that is Rukmini and Satyabhama, are of one form only. The remaining 6 will come in this particular row. Then Sauparni, Varuni, Parvati. This is the way the hierarchy he gives in his scripture. So one has to worship all the devatas in the Taratamya form. We should not ignore or we should not reject any particular devata. At the same time, keeping Lord Sri Hari's supremacy in the mind, we have to worship. We have to assume all these devatas are the family members of the Lord Sri Hari. So one shall never forget the supremacy of Lord Sri Hari. He is telling at the same time, we have to limit the materialistic activities and increase our involvement in spiritual activities. Limiting the materialistic activities means we need not shut down everything. We have to earn the money. We have to go ahead with our livelihood. We have to perform our prescribed duties. But the only thing is we have to limit our activities, like enjoying unlimitedly in the materialistic world. So these things we have to limit that. And we have to increase our involvement in spiritual activities means we have to keep on studying the scriptures. We have to perform devotional service. We have to respect the other Vaishnavas. So these are all the things which come as a part of the increase in the spiritual activities. He states that not only it is the practical experience. Material world is actually very, very limited. And at the same time, the spiritual world is unlimited. So money is only a step, but not the Siddhi. Siddhi means the final destination. Money is not the final destination. Of course, we should earn the money. We should keep with ourselves. How much? It is the question. The answer is to perform our livelihood. So how much ever is required, we have to preserve with ourselves. There is no doubt about that. So real destination is moksha. This comprises of jnana, bhakti and vairagya. What is the jnana? Jnana means jnana about the Lord, Supreme Lord Sri Hari. And bhakti, the devotional service or the unconditional devotional service or surrenderance to the Lord. It is bhakti. And vairagya. Vairagya is detaching ourselves from the materialistic things. That means we have to be there in the materialistic world, like what Sri Krishna states in Bhagavad Gita, Padma Patra Mivam Bhasha. That means one has to stay in this material planet like how the lotus stays in the water. The lotus, for many years, if we keep it in the water, it will be there in the water. but nowhere its parts will be attached to the water. The same way, a human being or any jiva for that matter should stay in the material world without getting attached to anything. That is what even Lord Sri Krishna states in the Bhagavad Gita. The same Jagat Guru Madhvacharya is also repeating the same thing. So traveling on the path of Satya and Dharma shall be a ritual. It should be like a ritual. One shall have to be a compassionate towards the other creatures and work for the sake of that Supreme Lord Sri Hari. And that kind of life is only recommended over here. And Varnashrama style of life is recommended as per the Shastras. What does this Varnashrama mean? Varnas means it is actually the four. The ashramas are four. The both comprising, it comes under as Varnashrama system. Varna means four Varnas. What are those four Varnas is? One is the Brahmana, the second one is Kshatriya, the other one is Vaishya, and the other one is Shudra. So all these are determined based on the activities of a person or the occupation of the person, whatever he takes. So, for example, a Brahmana is more interested towards Adhyayana or towards the study of scriptures, performing rituals, irrespective of their time of birth, place of birth, caste, language, everything, whatever it may be. A person whoever is studious towards the scriptures, whoever is more trying to be more ritualistic, more trying to be towards performance of this penance, all these are the characteristics of a Brahmana. The next one is Kshatriya. Whoever have got administrative capabilities, they are termed as Kshatriyas. A person, whoever is expert in performing business, is to be considered as a Vaishya. And the people apart from these three are to be considered as Shudras, whoever are interested in the public service. So here there is nothing called very high or very low. Everyone is equal. Everyone is required for the society to continue. So Varnashrama style of life is highly recommended as per the Shastras. But the path of Satya and Dharma is highly essential. It is very primary. If one is leaving these Satya and Dharma, there is no meaning of the Varnashrama method of life. Without this, it will lead to the downfall. So, Jnana Bhakti shall be the final thing. Without this, we will be traveling in the phase of downfall. At the same time, Kama, Krodha, and jealousy, these are all the negative forces or which will hinder our personality development. So we have to consider, we have to very carefully analyze the other schools of philosophy, and we have to reject those schools who don't accept the supremacy of the God, or those who have got the negative attitude or who hate the God. So, but at the same time, just mere keeping them away or rejecting is not the primary thing. We have to surrender ourselves to the Lord. This is highly essential actually. So these theistic schools shall always be helpful to the general public. So involving more with the bad people or friendship with the bad people is like we are inviting our downfall. So in this regard, the history or the epics will give very beautiful examples in this regard. So Karna, who is very pious person by nature, who is very good by heart, kind-hearted, who is very good in donating the charities, everything, he was a very good person. But the only negative force was he had a friendship with a wicked person called Duryodhana. So this has led to the downfall of this particular person, Karna. So there are many examples in this regard like this. So, irrespective of caste, language, region, religion, one shall continuously keep worshipping the God. And this is the motto of the Varnashrama system of life. It is not something like to discriminate others actually. It is to take the society forward. This Varnashrama system has come into existence. Attaining jnana shall be the goal of life. Its end result is mukti, or the permanent bliss that is possible by unlimited and causeless mercy of the Supreme Lord Narayana. So he states ultimately, Pranayamo Vasudevam as the motto of our life. So with this he completes his message stating that my time is nearing for me to leave to Uttara Badari for my departure. So now we will go through the departure to Uttara Badri. So soon after the completion of the message, people over there started analyzing deep into the concepts what he has told. So they were repeatedly analyzing the meaning. By the way, the time to depart is nearing. People started finding something lacking in their hearts actually. At that time, Sri Madhvacharya started giving lecture, or even we can say pravachan, on Aitareya Upanishad and started giving deep explanations about it. So generally Upanishads will not give clear picture about the God, who it is, how he looks like. So all these things will not be clearly explained in Upanishad, but with his logic, with his interpretation, he has started showing the supremacy of the Lord even in that scripture by the name Aitareya Namaka of the Lord. So now Lord has got unlimited names. Out of that, Aitareya Namaka he has used, he has shown. So people over there forgot this material world and they were deeply absorbed into it. Everybody started showering flowers. Soon the amount of flowers were showered like a mountain. The people whoever have started showering the flowers, height has reached almost to something like which we can compare to like a mountain actually. So everywhere there was a huge scent of these flowers. This fragrance was very high. So people started feeling that it was like a heaven for them. So for his disciples it was like a Vaikunta, because Vaikunta is even above the heaven. That means where the permanent bliss will be available. So as the time passed over there, his disciples started scattering the flowers, because once it has reached the mountain size, so people went there and scattered the flowers. But to their shock or to their surprise, this great Acharya was not available in the midst of those flowers. So he disappeared from the vision. As it is said in this message, henceforth I will be available at Uttara Badri, of course in the spiritual form. So already Udupi has a Puranic significance. Apart from this, Udupi has attained importance in philosophical world because of the contributions of Sri Madhvacharya. Again on the arrival of Lord Sri Krishna, this has become a Mahapunya Kshetra. Because of Madhvacharya, this place has become incomparable. So these are all the things which have been discussed in the Udupi Kshetra. So with this I want to conclude the Udupi Kshetra till now whatever I was discussing in the 3 to 4 lectures. So I want to conclude with this. And I want to dedicate this particular pravachan to Bharati Ramana Mukhya Pranantargata Shri Udupi Krishna कायेन वाच मनसेन्द्रियैर् बुद्ध्यात्मना वा प्रकृते स्वभावात् करोमि यद्यत् सकलं परस्मै नारायणायेति समर्पयामि. उडुपि श्रीकृष्ण कृष्णार्पणमस्तु. हरे श्रीनिवास.